But people like that negative stuff, and I don't like it. And it's just not my vibe. It's not authentically me.
Let's talk about the meaning behind evolve, because your brand centers around helping clients evolve through real estate. So walk us through like what the journey looks like.
Man, it's so beautiful. And what I love about the evolution is that everybody's evolution looks different, whether it be someone's going from renting to first-time home buyer, whether it be from first-time home buyer to getting a second property or upsizing, downsizing, somebody's retiring, somebody's wanting to invest. It's just so beautiful just to kind of see the evolution in different people's stories. So it's kind of like they put a lot of trust into us, because there have been clients where I haven't even honestly met in person. They were like, this is it, I trust you, Alexis, and then we handled everything, and the rest is history.
If you're a real estate agent tired of chasing cold leads and wondering how to create content that actually converts into clients, this is your episode. Today, I'm sitting down with Alexis Diaz, the founder of Evolve Estates Group and the voice behind the YouTube channels Evolve and Real Estate, where nearly 100% of her clients come from inbound leads, and her channel, The Monarch Method, where she teaches agents how to leverage YouTube to build their own businesses. She's thriving in her business by simply being unapologetically herself. She's a mom of 6 with unstoppable drive, and she closed 60 deals in 1 year and grew her channel to over 12,000 subscribers in just under 2 years. Come on. So let's dive into the lounge. Welcome, Alexis Diaz. How's it going?
Thank you. That's a great introduction. Okay.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. We're about to have some fun. Tell us how you got into real estate, first of all, and how you ended up with 6 kids. And not like that, because I love your story. And there's nothing traditional about your story, and the people need to know. So let's talk about it.
So before I even got into real estate, I was a secretary at Disney World. Loved the job. I loved those passes that I got to go into Disney and take my 6 children for free. So how I have 6 kids, my husband and I have 3 biological sons. And then we were licensed foster parents starting in 2017. And so we fostered about 15 children in total. So I have a sibling group of 3. They have the same biological mom and dad. And we fostered them, and in 2019, their parents got their rights terminated. Then we had a decision to make if we wanted to pursue adoption or if we wanted to like maybe put them in another home that somebody else wanted to adopt them. So my little one is about to be 9 years old, and we've had him since he was 3 months old. So there was just no like, oh, here you go. So no,
you can't do that.
So we ended up adopting them. And yeah, they're ours. So we have 6 kids, and it's so funny because every time I say, oh, I have 6 kids, people look at me, and then I get the, oh, you must have not had any TV.
Right. Like, you and your husband must love each other. Yeah.
Yes, we have 4 boys and 2 girls. And how I got into real estate, so I would never forget, in 2019, my husband got laid off, and he was the one who was basically the breadwinner. He made the money. Disney, I didn't make a lot of money. He got laid off, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to do? How am I going to afford to sustain a family of 8 on $30,000 a year? Like, no, the math ain't math. And at that point, I was like, something's got to give. And I always wanted to get into real estate. I always had like a desire of, I love, touring houses. I just love helping people, right? Obviously, I adopted 3 kids. I went on Google. ChatGPT wasn't there, right? Just yet. I went on Google and I was like, okay, real estate license course in Central Florida. And I just took the course, did what I needed to do. And I've been licensed going on 6 years now.
Boom. So let's talk about the meaning behind evolve, because your brand centers around helping clients evolve through real estate. So walk us through like what the journey looks like from the first-time home buyer to building long-term generational wealth.
Man, it's so beautiful. And what I love about the evolution is that everybody's evolution looks different, whether it be someone's going from renting to first-time home buyer, whether it be from first-time home buyer to getting a second property or upsizing, downsizing, somebody's retiring, somebody's wanting to invest. It's just so beautiful just to kind of see the evolution in different people's stories. So it looks different for everyone. I do a lot of relocation. So I have a lot of clients from up north, down south in Miami, California, even the Midwest too. With the relocation clients, we handle a lot of the things we're boots on the ground here, whether it's a to-be built and we're checking in on the house, we're making sure that we're communicating with the construction manager to make sure everything is going how it should be. So it's kind of like they put a lot of trust into us, because there have been clients where I haven't even honestly met in person. We toured the house virtually and they were like, this is it, I trust you, Alexis. And then we handled everything and the rest is history.
That's so cool. I mean, that's a business that many agents dream of, having these leads coming to them and wanting to work with them because they are who they are and they feel like they know them. They feel like they trust them all through the screen before they've ever even met them. That's remarkable. Does that still blow your mind every once in a while?
It does. It really does. I mean, don't get it twisted. This didn't happen overnight. Yes, I get inbound leads, but I work really hard for them. So we're constantly out. I travel a lot to different cities. I just don't do business in my backyard. I do business where I need to. We record a lot of time spent outside. It's a blessing, but I didn't start off on YouTube. I started first as a solo agent doing open houses. Then I joined the team and I was on the team for 2.5 years. And I was the top producer in that team. And I was cold calling. And it was just like, hey, this is Alexis Diaz. I saw that you put your information. You were interested in 123 Main Street. And they're like, who? And I closed deals on that. But I was just like, this is not fulfilling. I don't feel aligned. And all it took was me to go to a class. Another real estate agent was teaching about YouTube. And I just took what was said and that's it. I made it my own. And 2.5 years later.
You know what's wild is, so I remember, I've known Alexis for a long time when she first got into real estate. I remember when you stepped off of that team after being on the team for what, 2.5 years, you said?
Yeah.
And you were like, all right, I got to go get it now. I got to go figure this thing out. And there was some nervousness, but here's what I love about the story is that you did it anyway. You did it scared. There's a lot of people who allow fear to hold them back. But you were like, I'm going to embrace the fear and I'm going to do it anyway. And now here you are, a mother of 6, a full-time realtor, the CEO of your group. How have you built leverage into your business to protect your time while still growing at this pace?
I feel like the biggest leverage for me is YouTube, because I am lead generating in my sleep. I'll wake up with an email. I'll wake up with somebody who booked time in my calendar. I get constant calls every week and people wanting to work with me and my team. And it's like, it's a blessing because that's the leverage that I needed and that I was looking for. Now, at the end of the day, I'm going to do whatever it takes because I have 6 kids to feed. Now that I have a team, I have my team's family to feed too. So it hits a little different when you have other people depending on you. And of course, I have my 6 children depending on me and I always got them. I always do whatever I need to do. But now I have a staff and they depend on me. And so leveraging YouTube is heavy because, as I mentioned, I lead generate in my sleep. But I also leverage my team. I have 2 admins, one who is constantly in our database, in our CRM, like, okay, who hasn't been loved on? Are we perfect? Absolutely not. Have there been balls dropped and people fall through the cracks and things like that? Of course. It's how you move forward. And so it's like, okay, what systems can we build? What can we implement? What can we leverage to make sure that the minimal amount of people are falling through the cracks?
Yeah, and that's how we scale. You don't just keep on building the bigger boat. You got to patch the holes that are there, and then you keep going a little bit further.
Correct.
Now, your business partner and husband, who's also my homeboy, my friend, Victor Diaz, he's a creative thinker and an AI enthusiast. So how have you guys been able to leverage what he brings to the table in that department?
A lot of fights.
Okay. Tell it all. Go ahead.
Sometimes he just thinks like 10, 15 years ahead, and I'm just like, listen, I get it, but I'm just focused on right now. So he's definitely the visionary, and he's like, okay, how can we automate this? What can we plug in to not duplicate the work? So we use Fixer AI, we use House Whisperer, which is kind of like an assistant type of program. It's basically kind of keeping you on track with your calendar throughout the week. We have a program called Sisu, so he leverages Sisu so that we can see, okay, what have we done in the past? Where's our trajectory of 2025, 2026? So he's definitely the visionary, and he heavily leverages AI, and we leverage AI when it comes to YouTube as well. ChatGPT will help me come up with the descriptions. They'll give me a general title and then I make it my own. So we definitely leverage AI. We leverage ChatGPT when it comes to like emails and things like that, because sometimes it just takes too much. Like, okay, make sure that I'm punctual. I'd rather just put it into ChatGPT, and as long as it sounds like me, it makes sense, then I'm using it as a response. He got voluntold as far as he's going to be recording, and now he's like taking over operations because I'm just really focused on bringing in the business.
Yeah, you said that every one of your sales now comes from YouTube, essentially, right?
Oh yeah.
What kind of videos are consistently driving those inbound calls?
Honestly, so there's so many types of videos that you can do that drives calls. So I've seen channels where they get tens of thousands of views every video, but for me, it's not my style. Like, it's the negative, like, don't move here. It's that like propaganda type of thing. It's just not my thing.
You're talking the clickbait stuff.
Yes. Exactly, the clickbait. And there's a lot of people who click it because it's clickbait, but people like that negative stuff, and I don't like it, and it's just not my vibe. It's not authentically me. So authentically me is showing my personality. I personally really like touring homes. I love the different types of homes. I love to showcase what's happening in the area. I love to storytell throughout my tours, because number one, I can't do a boring house, because if I do a boring house, you're gonna feel my energy through the TV. Number two, I keep it 100 all the time. I'm like, guys, this don't even make sense. Like, why is this here? Tell me what you guys think about that. So my bread and butter is tours. I do resale tours. I do new construction tours. I do whatever I feel like is super appealing.
Yeah. You mentioned something about the views, because like you mentioned, some people get thousands and thousands of views per video. Sometimes it's because of clickbait. Sometimes it's just whatever. But the question I have is, how do you move from someone watching your content to becoming a booked appointment or even a showing ready client? Is there a system or like a call to action that you always use?
I feel like there's always a call to action, because you're gonna get new viewers and subscribers on every video. And if you don't have a call to action, nobody's really gonna know how to contact you. So in my video, I'd be like, hey, if you guys love this house, or if this is not quite it, but you definitely wanna work with us here at the Evolve Estates Group, the best way to reach out to us. And I tell them exactly how to reach out to me. And what I also do too is like, okay, views aren't everything. My tours get a couple of thousand views per house, but of course there's some videos that do better than the other ones. But there have been where I only have, let's just say, like 1,000 views on a house, but that's a house that caught somebody's attention, and that was like, oh, that's the house that I've been looking for. And you know, I'll close somebody on that house. You want to definitely keep track of.
Yeah, they matter, but they're not the only thing that matters.
Correct.
You know, you're not doing it just for the high views. That actually takes me to my next point, because I want to talk about what actually matters when we're measuring success. What does a measure of success look like? Like when it comes to measuring your content success, what do you look at? Are you looking at views, watch time, how many DMs you get, or simply is my calendar full?
I mean, I do look at views, because I'm like, okay, this video is not doing as well as my other videos. Why is that? And then I just start analyzing it. It could be the title, it could be the thumbnail. I start changing things up just to kind of see if it will move the needle a little bit. But I'm always looking at, okay, my subscriber count is continuing to increase. My views are still very consistent. And And I'm just being consistent. Regardless if I have 1,000 views on one house, I'm still being consistent every week. I post 2 videos Monday, Tuesday for the last 2.5 years, same time, same day. The difference about me is that I'm always like, how can I separate myself from other agents? Because there's a lot of agents on YouTube in my market. So number one is me, being authentically me. Nobody's like me. And I attract people, and then there's people who don't want to work with me because maybe they just don't align with me, and that's okay. But that's what I love YouTube, because if you don't vibe with me, you're not going to call me. And so that's what I really, really love. But you know how many people vibe and rock with me? It's crazy. It's so crazy. Like, people call me and they're like, I know you got me, that I got you, girl. Like, I feel like I've known you forever. I feel like you're my cousin. There was one person that they called me last week, and his wife was like, I call you his cousin because he's been watching you since 2023, from when I first started. And you know what's so cool is that they see the evolution and they love the growth. I have Katrina, who's one of my agents. I have her on my channel now. And so everybody who I talk to, how's Katrina doing? How are the kids doing? Because what I also do is I do Sunday lives. I've been doing Sunday lives for over a year now, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays. And honestly, we just chopping it up, whether I'm on the sofa, whether I'm in the kitchen, whether I'm cooking dinner for the kids, whether you see my kids in the back and all that other stuff. But we're just chopping it up. Sometimes I have like a lender on there, a title agent to talk about title, an inspector, a home insurance agent. My job is to provide as much value as I can. There's sometimes that we're just talking about past deals and what we've went through and things like that, how we pivoted, and a great deal that we got our clients, or something that happened. And it's been amazing. I built such a beautiful community.
I love that you've built something that you love. Sometimes we can build something that we don't love. A lot of agents find themselves building stuff, like you mentioned, doing the cold calls, and even though they don't necessarily love it, they do it because they were told that's what they need to do. And now they've been successful in it because you make enough calls and you start getting better at what you're saying. You're going to convert more of those conversations, and it works, and you can make some money, but then you've built something that you actually don't love, but you don't really know how to pivot out of that. And I love that you actually built something that you love, but you've grown in it. And then what's really cool is, like you mentioned, they've grown with you. Your viewers have grown with you. And that has to feel pretty amazing.
It's amazing. It really is. Like, they're my YouTube fam. Like, I tell them every Sunday, I'm like, I absolutely love you guys. I really do. It's just an extension of my family. We have between like 30 to 40, sometimes 60 people on, and we're just chopping it up. Literally, we're just chopping it up, talking about everything.
This is YouTube Live, and then are you calling people up onto the screen with you, or are they just simply in the chat?
No, they're simply in the chat.
Okay. They're asking you questions, you guys going kiki and haha and all the con stuff, right?
Yep, everything is, they'll start chatting, they'll comment, I'll read their comments, I'll answer their questions. Yeah. Okay. And then it's super cool because they'll be like, I love it because it literally is a community. So they'll be like, oh, hi, Janet, or hi, Pamela. And they're talking to each other, or somebody's birthday, everybody be like, oh, happy birthday. How was your birthday? Things like that. So it's really cool.
So you even have regulars that show up on the Sunday lives.
Oh, every week.
The neighbors. The cousins.
Janet's the first one every week. And if she's not the first one, and then I'll be like, oh my gosh, where's Janet? And then she'll come on like 15 minutes later and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm late. Like, it's just building rapport with everybody.
Janet, if you're watching this, shout out to you. You're a real one. We love our day ones, man. The people who stick with it. Stick with us, rock with us as we're going through the growing pains and learning how to do this thing. And I just love that. So talk about how you began, because you actually have a slogan, I got you, which you've now begun to leverage in a different way too. A lot of people don't know how to leverage, or haven't been able to leverage a slogan. And I'm interested to know, like, was that organic? How did you come up with that? And then what have you seen from that? You just mentioned somebody's like, oh, that's the I got you girl. Yeah. So talk about how you came up with that, but also what that has even evolved into.
When I first began the videos, I was just like, I don't really know what to say. And sometimes I have to go by a script, because if not, I go from A to Z and you're like, wait, what are you talking about? So I said something, and this is me, this is organic. I was like, well, then look no further. I got you. And I'm from New York, and that's how we talk. Like, I got you. And I was like, I'm going to stay with it. As long as it feels good, I'm going to stick with it. So
wait, hold on. But what was it? What was it? You said, oh, okay, I'm going to stick with it. Was it because of a response that you received from it? Or when you said it, you were like, I kind of like that.
No, when I said it, I was like, that's me. That it feels good. That's me. And I said, because the type of person I am, I got you. You don't have to worry again. You got the love. You're safe. I got you. Yeah. And that's even to my children. Like, I got you. My friends, my family, like, I got you. And so my clients, I got you. And so it felt good. And I was like, okay, I'm going to keep saying this. And then all of a sudden, it was just when people started calling me and they were like, oh, I got you. And they'd be like, I know you got me. And I was like, wow, that really stuck to people when I said, I got you. Funny story. I had one of my clients that I met 2 weeks ago. And he was like, listen, I was watching somebody else's YouTube channel and the realtor was saying, I got you. And I commented and I was like, you can't say that. And the realtor is going back and forth with my client. Like, yes, I can say that. I got you. I got you, girl. Alexis says, I got you. That was funny.
Not only I got you, but you got it. So now it's yours. That's funny.
And I always say it too. And I tell them, and I'm like, listen, when I say I got you, doesn't mean that everything is going to go smooth. There's some stuff that happens in real estate that you just be like, what? Yeah. You have to make that ugly face like. And so I said, what it means is that no matter what happens, we're going to go through it together. I'm very resourceful. Okay, so we're going to see what needs to get done to get us to the closing table or whatever it is. Because sometimes people think, oh, I got you means that everything is going to be okay, but that everything's going to be smooth. And that's not what it is. That's not how life works. So that's why I always say, you know, the cow, the buffalo. And I tell my clients, I'm your buffalo. I'm going to go through the storm with you.
Yeah. No, I love that. You might want to expand on that. What do you mean when you're talking about I'm your buffalo? I know what it is, but when our listeners are hearing that, they're like, what was that? I thought you were a butterfly.
When a cow and a buffalo, when there's a storm, the buffalo is running towards the storm because they're going to get out of it faster. The cow runs away from the storm, which is going to be delaying the process. So I tell my clients, listen, I'm your buffalo because I'm going towards the storm and we're going to get out of it faster.
We're headed straight to it. Let's go. Now, you are not a one-person show. It's not just you. It's you, it's Vic, it's Katrina. You have another team, a larger extension of your team. Talk about how you're leveraging people in your business.
I leverage my husband in the sense of he records the videos. So if I have a full week and that I can't really just spend too much time outside, he'll go to wherever we're going to record and he'll grab the drone video. He'll grab every content that we need, and then when I get there I can just knock it out within 30 minutes. So I leverage him in that sense. Sometimes I leverage my kids in my videos because I want people to see, like, when you contact me, I'm a mom. I don't work Sundays because you see these kids, like, they need their mom. I love where they'd be like, how's Kit Kat doing? Because one of my daughters is also in a lot of my videos. And they'd be like, how's Kit Kat doing? Or like, how's Malachi doing? And they know my kids by name. So I leverage the kids. I leverage Katrina. So Katrina's an agent on my team now. And what we started doing was, when I first built my team out, I was like, okay, are we going to have one centralized YouTube channel or is everybody going to have different channels? And I was like, you know what? I've seen other team leaders do it where everything is central. Everything is on one platform, one stream. And that's the way I'm going to do it. And the reason why I like doing it like that is because I already have established a channel. I have an established channel. And why should we be competing against each other? Number one, is going to take you a little bit longer to get where I am right now, because of course we start at zero.
Takes time.
And I'm going to have her on my channel. And what that does is it builds trust, because what happens is that when people see you, they want to work with only you. And how can you leverage that? Because you can't be everywhere at once. So bringing in Katrina, now I'm building trust with my audience and Katrina. So now we are ready. So she handles the Tampa to Wesley Chapel area. So we've been incorporating those videos in those areas in the channel, and we've already been getting leads for those areas. But now people are like, Oh, how's Katrina doing? Oh my gosh, you and Katrina, you guys are like the same person and things like that. So when I be like, hey, I'm like, oh, Katrina got you. She's going to take really good care of you. They be like, okay. Because what I hear a lot is correct. Where I hear a lot is where people call me and they're like, oh, well, you know, I went to call this person, but then they put me with a complete stranger. And I get it because YouTube is very much so relationship based because they fall in love with you.
They've been watching you for the last 2 years.
Correct. So that's my goal. But when I start adding to my team, you got to be aligned. You got to be aligned with the vibe, the energy. So I leverage her. I leverage my other admin who's in Colombia, and she's very.
I was about to say, you have an international team. Talk about that.
Mm-hmm. So she's very type A brain, which I absolutely love. Very, very organized. And when you leverage people, you have to leverage them in their strong suit. So she's very organized, very Excel spreadsheet. So she's the perfect person to be an admin. She keeps us very, very, very organized. She's the one who's in our CRM, following up with people who needs to get followed up with, things like that. We also leverage RTC. Our transaction coordinator is handling all of the paperwork because I don't want to handle the paperwork. So he handles all of the paperwork and I don't even have to think about it. But then my admin oversees him as well, just to make sure that everything is good and where it needs to be. Then I leverage my editor, who's been with me for over 2 years now. He edits all my videos. He knows how I like it. Honestly, we are to the point in our relationship where I trust him enough that we could just put it on the channel. I don't really have to review it and then I'll publish it type of thing. Yeah. So it's necessary to leverage all of these people, but in their strong suit, because if you have a person in the wrong position, it's a domino effect.
So how did you get to that point? Because let me say something, and this is for all my New Yorkers out there. Y'all don't really trust people like that.
Oh, no.
And so how did you get to the point where you were willing to trust someone with your business? I mean, yes, they evolved with you over these last few years, but I have an international team as well, as you know, and my international team of virtual assistants, people ask me all the time, like, they have your logins for your social media? They have access to this? They have access to that? I'm like, yeah, well, in order to build any business that's not only going to require you, it requires trust. I mean, even if you're a team leader, you have to trust your team members that if you're a coach, you have to trust that you're coaching your players to the vision. And then once they're out there, you can't run the plays for them. They have to run the plays. Our job is to be the CEO and be the coach and equip the people that we need, that we trust to run the play. So how did you get to that point? Was that tough for you to make that transition?
I mean, it is. It's also very tough as a business owner to let go because at the end of the day, no one's going to do it like you, but you have to be okay with that. So especially me coming from a secretary admin background where it's just like, okay, I would have done this totally different, but that's learning. I'm able to help my staff, my admins pivot because I really think that you need to set your expectations because sometimes we just feel that they should already know, but that's not the case, especially when you're in a different language barrier as well. So some things don't translate over the correct way or the way you thought it was going to. At the end of the day, I just feel like you have to let go and let God type of thing where it's just like I'm putting it all into his hands and it's just like it works itself out. Have there been like people where I've hired and I'd be like type of thing and I'm just like okay, this is not a good fit, and then we pivot, we change all our passwords. We'll change all our passwords before we fire them.
Yeah, that part.
That's
what I'm saying. There's very few things that are unfixable in life and in business. And as we're talking about this conversation, like, this is why we raise kids. We raise our kids with the expectation that we're going to help them learn how to make really good decisions. And then at some point, we have to trust that they're going to make the right decisions because we can't do it for them. And we're not going to be helicopter parents their whole lives.
Nope. The way I parent and the way I see it is if you make those bad decisions, it's because you wanted to. Because I taught you better. I showed you better. And at the end of the day, it sure ain't a reflection of me. Let me tell you that much.
Right. That's all you.
And what bothers me, and I know that this is a little bit off topic, but I hear a lot
That's
of
all
people
right.
when they're criticized, they be like, oh, it must have been how they were raised. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. I don't agree with that statement, because you have kids who are still trying to find themselves, trying to figure out like what they could do, what they can't do. My oldest son ended up on the community's WhatsApp chat because he decided that he wanted to play Ding Dong Ditch in 2025, where you got cameras everywhere. Like,
Everywhere. So he was on everybody's Ring camera?
hello? Listen. And this taught him a really, really, really valuable lesson, because he was with somebody of color and that person had a mask on.
Oh.
And I said, do you know what could have happened to you? Do you know what could have happened to you? Because let's just call it what it is. You see somebody with whoever it could be, with a mask on. And so what I did, so my friend sent me the video, and I was like, guys, I have something to show y'all. Like, you guys are not going to believe this. I put this on the TV, his face turned white.
For the whole family.
For the whole family.
Nah.
And he never did that again. Yep. You know, yes, there are parents who don't raise their children right, blah, 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 blah. But there are parents who raise their children right, who show them how you should be walking in life and the decisions you should be making and all this. But sometimes they just decide that they want to do whatever they want to do. And at the end of the day, I'm good with my heart and my soul that I did the best that I possibly could for you.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you taught all the right things. You were there as much as you possibly could be. You provided. You did all the things. Always. And I don't think anybody would ever fault you for that. But yes, I agree. There are people out there who just quick to blame the parents, and ain't this. This ain't that. All right, Alexis, now let's hit the hot seat. Quick fire questions. Okay? No overthinking. You ready for this?
Okay.
All right. Now, I'm going to ask you the question. I want you to answer it quickly, but then if we need to dive in a little bit more to get some why or some substance behind it, then we can do that, okay?
Okay.
What's the one thing you'll never do again in business?
Expect something for free.
Expect something for free. Okay,
Yeah.
tell us about that.
So there was this one time where I was pretty early on in my real estate career, and I was still learning, was wanting to learn more about short-term rentals, because during COVID, short-term rentals were it. And so somebody recommended me to speak to this one agent. So I called this one agent, and I'm just like, oh, you know, can I take you out to coffee or something? I just want to pick your brain type of thing. And he was like, I charge $500 an hour. And I was like, oh, I felt like, damn. But retrospectively, like, I get it. I definitely get it. So I'm always quick to like pay. I've always want to collapse time, and I'm always quick to be like, here's my money. If you can help me collapse time, here's my money.
Right. Yeah. You know, I think when you do the math, you're making more than $500 an hour right now anyway, you personally. And so when you do the math, you can see why he may have said that. Like you said, retrospectively, you understand it now. But when you first get hit with that, you're like, hold up.
No, who do you think you are?
Right. So I said coffee.
It ain't like us, because us, right, we collaborate. Like, yo.
Exactly.
That's when you barter. If you ain't got the money, you barter. You barter your time. Like, hey, this is what I got to be able to, you know, I don't got the money, but I got this type of thing. So I love bartering.
Right. Great point. I love that. Best investment you've ever made?
Buying my personal residential.
Okay. Buying your personal property. So you were renting in the beginning.
I sure was. I was renting. I bought my house in 2020, 1.99 interest rate. I bought it for 306. This house is going close to $500,000 now. I'm doing pretty good.
Did good. You did good. All right. What's your favorite YouTube video that you've ever posted?
This one video where I went to go open the door to go to the back cover lanai, and the whole doorknob came out. I was like, well, don't we all have a few loose screws? And it was so funny. It was so genuine and organic. It's one of my favorite videos, because it's just like, that's the type of person that I am.
Yeah. Being in the moment. I love that. All right. What's one daily habit that keeps you grounded?
Coffee. Drinking coffee.
Coffee is a habit that keeps you. Oh, I see what you did there. Grounded, coffee, beans. Okay. All right. I'm with it. You got to have your coffee in the morning?
I gotta have my coffee. For me, coffee is just such an experience. I have to have it in a specific cup. It has to be made very specifically, like intentionally. It's an experience for me. And I love starting my day off like that. Now I'm starting to incorporate working out with my husband and things like that. So today it was perfect. We woke up at 5, we worked out, came home, took a shower, got ready. Yo, I enjoyed that cup of coffee like it was no other.
When you worked and deserve it,
Yep.
when you sitting there drinking it and you feel like you deserve that cup because you put the work in already,
Ooh.
that's different.
Yeah.
That hits different. I like that. I like that. All right. Final question, hot seat. What's one thing most people misunderstand about you?
Ooh. That I'm unapproachable. I have the RBF, right? I have really bad. And
It's real bad, y'all.
It's real bad.
No.
And I'll just stand and this is my natural state. Or cross my hands and things like that. And some people may take that for unapproachable, which I'm working on. But I'm the most easygoing, open-hearted person. Please come to me about anything and I'll help you as best as I can type of person. But I can seem as I'm unapproachable.
Yeah. All right. Hey, you survived. You're off the hot seat. You did. Congratulations. You did a great job. This next part is one of my favorite parts of the show. It's called the 5% rule. Okay. So if you could go back and change just 5% of your real estate journey, what would it be? And how do you think that small shift would have changed everything?
Yeah, I would have done YouTube earlier. I would have done YouTube earlier, but no, not necessarily. And the reason why, no, I don't agree with that because would it have been nice to do YouTube earlier? Yes. But if you don't really understand the grind of real estate and the open houses and the cold calls, you really don't appreciate when you get inbound leads. I think one thing that I would have started at EXP. I would have started with the Alliance group because there's just so much time wasted when you are not amongst the right people. And I feel like that 5% shift, I could have been a little bit further in my career maybe if I would have just started with the right people and the right culture. But you don't know what you don't know too. So, but I think that would have made a big difference because even being a few months into joining EXP, so much stuff had changed my life, like buying a house and being around the right people. Yeah. So I think it could have just 10x that if it was earlier.
You're right. Because it's not even so much the brokerage, right? Because people change brokerages every day. It's the right group. It's a growth-minded environment where we talk about wealth building. We talk about the importance of owning your own home. We help agents understand what it means to be a full-bodied person. We talk about the spirit, the physical, the financial, all of the things, and we care about all of these things. And I think that's what we're getting to is that when you're in an environment where you know that people care about you, not just what you can do for them, but when people care about you, it changes everything because you start to grow by leaps and bounds in multiple areas of your life that you didn't even know were missing. And then if you step away from it, you come back to it and you're like, here it is. Yeah. Here it is right here. All along. It's right in my face. And so I love that. That's a good one. I love how you disagreed with yourself. You said YouTube and you was like, wait, no, I don't agree with that.
So this is it. And I see this with my children. So I want to raise my children differently than I was raised. I grew up really, 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 really fast. I didn't grow up in a loving household or being told that I was loved or anything like that. So I give my kids all of that. But then they don't really understand what it is to really need and want, right? Yeah. And so I feel like you appreciate it more going through the trenches. Yes. And so that's why I appreciate YouTube so much is because I went through the trenches. I did open houses every weekend. I cold called. I even tried wholesaling.
I remember that.
I tried a lot of things, and YouTube is just where my heart is and I'm aligned with, and I appreciate it so, so much. Sometimes I'm just like, no lie, I swear, even to this day, I'm like, is it going to be taken away from me? Because I love it so much. Is this real where people are calling me to work with and I'm not having to chase people down? I mean, I still have to follow up. Sometimes it feels like a dream, but it's like, no, I worked really hard for it and I just appreciate it.
You're living in a real life pinch me moment. And that moment has continued. And I think it's going to continue because, like I said, you're genuine, you're putting in the work, you've put in the work, and now you're helping other people do it. So this is your moment. Tell the people where they can follow you, how they can work with you, how they can check out your group, your channel, anything else that you want to shine a light on. Let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to know how I leverage YouTube, I laid it all out in my video. So it's called the Monarch Method, where realtors rise. We've had that for a couple of months. So go check that out. Do not follow my real estate YouTube channel because it's just organic. And I want people who's following that, who's actually going to buy with me, right?
Unless you're listening to this and plan on buying a house with her, don't follow her, that other YouTube channel.
I don't want ghost viewers.
Right.
And Instagram, Evolved with Alexis Diaz. I always chop it up on there. Is mostly speaking to realtors on there, and you just see my day-to-day. You'll see my kids, you'll see me just keeping it real on a story. And I just put a story on today and I was like, listen, a lot of agents this time of year take their foot off the pedal, and then when it comes the beginning of the year, they're like questioning their whole existence, and it's like, oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna have to get a 9 to 5. No, you need to keep your foot on the gas pedal. You can still enjoy your family and the holidays, but you need to start working on your pipeline. New construction, that's how you build your pipeline.
That's so good. So they can go to the Monarch Method and learn how to actually build a YouTube channel similar to the way that you did it. Is that right?
Exactly how I do it. And I don't charge for the Monarch Method, but don't be another agent who just writes everything down and pays for all these courses, but you don't implement. It's too many people out there like that. Like, oh, I'm going to go to this and that, or which CRM should I use? The one that you have. You don't need something new. So I really recommend you sit down, you binge watch it, and I give you everything that I've done to be where I am right now.
Yes. Don't just take notes, take action.
Yep.
Hey, listen, if you got value from this episode, and I know you did, do us a favor. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and most importantly, tag another agent who needs to build their business without burning out. You can catch more interviews like this one at leveragewithmike.com, where we dive deep into systems, scaling, and stories from entrepreneurs just like Alexis who have mastered the art of leverage. So until next time, keep building, keep evolving, and don't try to do it alone. Leverage is the answer. Let's scale smarter. I'm Mike Collier. This is the Leverage Lounge, and we'll see you next time.